Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be doing the Huddle landing page with single introductory section. So you can head over into frontend.io, you can scroll all the way to the bottom where you're going to find this challenge. You can click on it and then we can begin. And then what I'm going to do is, oh, I haven't submitted this. Okay, so I just want to mention that I've already done this challenge, but I built it in Next.js on my channel. You can find the video, it's one of the first videos that I did on the channel. And so what I'm going to do is, for this project, this time that we're going to do it, I'm going to be building it in HTML and Tailwind CSS. So let's just say visit Challenge Hub, and then let me download the starter files because I don't have them. And so once it downloads the starter files, if you navigate into your downloads folder, then it's going to be right here. So Huddle landing page. So just extract it here, and then it's going to extract into this folder, which I'm just going to right click and say open with code. And then this is going to be our workspace. So what I'm going to do first is I just want to open the design file here. So the desktop design probably. And then once I have the desktop design, then I can scroll into the mobile design as well, looking quite nice. So let me go ahead and now do this. The first thing that I want to check is whether we have our social media images, which we don't have. We don't have them. So what I'm going to do is I want to use Tailwind version 2 from the CDN. So inside cdnjs.com, then you can search for Tailwind CSS. Tailwind, so just copy the link tag and then paste it below this. And then I also want to search for Font Awesome, which is going to help us to generate the social media icons. So paste it below this. And then on top of this, I want to link my CSS file, which we're going to create called index.css. So inside your workspace, just double click and say index.css. And then what I want to do is just, this can remain here, it doesn't really matter. We're going to change this into your website, tsb.com. Change this into my name or your name. And then what I'm going to do now is this. I'm going to cut this out. Let me see actually, how is this structured? So build the community. So this is the second section. How does it look on mobile? So on mobile, this image comes first. So cut this out, place it inside a section and then inside an article. And then cut this out, place it inside an H1. And then cut this out, place it inside a paragraph. Then cut this out, place it inside a button. And then on top of this, we're going to have an article, which is going to be, let me see whether it has the BG desktop and BG mobile. No, BG is the background here. So we want the mockups, so illustration mockups. So inside here, let's render images / illustration mockups, and then save this. And I'm going to be using an extension called Live Server. So inside your extensions, just go ahead and install Live Server here, which launches a local development server with hot reloading, so that every time that you say that you make and save a change in a code editor, then it's going to automatically reflect inside your browser. So just right click and say open with Live Server. And then you can see that it opens this up for you. Now the first thing that I want to do is add the background images. And so the background images are going to be added as follows. Right below the body here, we're going to add in a picture tag because it has the BG desktop and the BG mobile. So we want to add both images without toggling them using CSS. So inside here, we're going to have a source media, and I'm going to say that for a min width of 768 pixels, then I want the images, the images /BG desktop.svg to appear. And then for devices that are smaller than 768 pixels, then I want the BG mobile.svg to appear. So that when I save this and go into application, then you can see that it shows our background image. And then when you reduce the screen size, then the image changes also. Where's the BG mobile? BG mobile, where is it? BG mobile.svg is not showing. It's not showing. So something is wrong. The mobile image is not showing, but I'm going to figure it out in a few. What we need to do is just add the background color, and the background color we can get it from our style guide, and it should be should be let's try violet. Let's go inside our index.css. Let's specify that the body should have a background color of this. Nope, that is not the one, is it? Oh, actually it is. Oh, how does this other color look like? Magenta. Paste it here. Yeah, that is not. Oh, that looks ugly. Okay, so now what we need to do is this. I have no idea why the mobile image is not showing. Okay, so I mistyped this. Okay, images, there we go. See, the problem with HTML, it will never tell you what is wrong. It will show you that something is wrong, but it won't tell you what's wrong with it. So let's give this a class of width-full so that it goes all the way to the end. And then inside this picture tag, I'm going to give this a class of absolute because I want this content to appear on top of the images. And then inside this section, I'm going to give this a section of relative because relative has a higher z index than absolute, so that now you can see that this image goes on top of the background. And then you also say this should say height full also, is it? Or let me say h screen probably. There we go, so that it goes all the way to the end. Probably I can say object cover, but I'm not sure whether it's going to work. Yeah, let's do object cover. It looks much better. So now let's go ahead and begin to style this out. And you know what? I've just realized this should have a logo on top. So let's add a div inside here. Let's add an image which should be coming from /images/logo. So the logo appears on top. There we go. And then now we can go inside this div, give this a class of margin bottom of 10 to push it away from this image. And then inside this section, let's give it a padding all around of 8 to push everything inwards. And not, let me say padding y 20 and padding on the x of 8 to push everything downwards and inwards. Padding y 20 looks a bit overkill. Let me say padding top of 8. How does this look actually on mobile? Yeah, it's not so much on mobile. So let me do this padding top of 8. Let me say padding y or padding bottom, sorry. Okay, let me see. And I've just realized this image doesn't go all the way to the bottom. Okay, so let me do this. Let me say padding on the y of 10. Okay, and then let's remove this part here so that this image doesn't go all the way to the bottom. But width-full, I still want width-full to apply, but it doesn't apply because this is absolute. So let's say width-full here as well, that it goes all the way to the end. And then let's go inside this image, give this image a class of width-40, reduce it drastically. And then let's go inside this h1, give this a class of font bold, text white, text 4XL, margin bottom 8. And then is it centered? Well, this entire text is centered. So let's go inside let me go inside this article, give this a class of text center everything. And then let's say margin top of 16, pushed away from the image. And then let's go inside this paragraph, give this a class of text white with an opacity of -75 to make it as if it is grayed out just a bit. Let's say text small. Let's say leading relaxed. Okay, let's say margin bottom of 10 to push away from the bottom here. Oh, margin bottom 10, not 18. 18 does not exist. There we go. And then, you know what? Let me see. Let's just make it white. Let's make it white instead of adding on opacity because it's white in color. And then let's go inside this button, give this button a class of BG white, padding y3, padding x4, rounded -full. And then let's say width-full as well. Let me see. Width-full almost does the job. Let's say width-7 out of 12. Okay. And then what color is the text? It's purple. So inside here, let me give this a style and give this a color, and then let me grab this color from here, which should be this violet, and paste it inside here. Should change the text color. There we go. And then let's see. Okay, and then we need our social media icons. So right below the button, we're going to have a UL with 3 list items. And then inside the first list item, we want to render an icon with the class of FAB and FA-Facebook. That's how you add icons from Font Awesome. And then just copy this here and here. Change this to Twitter. Change this to Instagram. There we go. Yeah, there we go. And then let's go inside this UL, give this a class, class of flex and item center, and justify center with a gap of around 4 to separate them out. Then let's say margin top of 8 to push them from this button. And then let's go inside here. So hold down the click here and then hold down the alt key, click here and here to add multiple cursors, and then let's say text white. Fantastic. Fantastic. Let me say probably text dash 2XL. Sorry, text dash large. Just increase them a bit. Text dash 2XL, okay. XL. And then let's increase the gap here to 8. And then let's go ahead and change the color of the attribution here, which should be this one. Change this color to white. Okay, you know what? Let me just remove this from here. Let me just remove it. And then let me style it out here. So footer here. Change this into text white. Text dash white. Okay. Let's say text dash small. Let's go inside here, give this a class of padding x of 8, padding bottom of 10. Just to increase this a bit, let's say text dash center. And then let's go inside this link here, give this a class of underline to make it to show that it is clickable, not to make it clickable. And then copy this part and paste it here. And so this is our mobile design, and then now we just need to scale it up. And scaling it up is it's easy, because all you need to do is just place this to the left, and then this should come here. So what we're going to do is go to the top of this section, which is this one. Might this be a problem? Okay, maybe if I push it upwards. Yeah, yep. So that is going to be a problem. I don't know if there's a fix for it. Just grab this article all the way up to here, cut it out and place it inside the div, so that now we're going to be displaying the div. You can see that nothing changes. So we're going to go inside this div, give this div a class of grid. Sorry, let's say that for medium screens should be grid, and then grid columns dash 2 with a gap of 16, then place dash items center, place it here. Okay. And then let's go inside this section, give the section a max width of 7XL. Yeah, actually, is it? Let me check. 7XL is a bit too small. So instead of 7XL, let's say container, because Tailwind has a class of container. If I can just type it, that is much better. And container is going to limit everything. You can see that it limits everything. And then let me go ahead and say MX Auto. And then let's bring this text to the left. So where is it? This is the image. Space it out. Here, let's say that for medium screens, then text dash left. Then just copy this part. Let's place it. Actually, not. That should do it actually. Yeah, that should do it. And then let me see, the button is no longer as big as this. So where we have our button here, we're going to select for medium screens, then the width should be auto. There we go. And auto is a bit too small actually. So let's say width dash, let me say a half. Still too big, let's say a third. That should do it. And then let's increase the size of this paragraph. Actually, is this zoomed out? Wait, is this paragraph this small on mobile? Okay. So let's do this. Instead of this paragraph being this small on mobile, let's remove it. Let's move, the class of text small. And then we're going to say that for large screens, that the text should be large to increase it even more. Okay. And then let's increase the size of this H1. So let's say that for large screens, then the text should be 5XL. And then let's say that for large screens, then the leading should be loose. Increase the line height to big. Let's say leading normal. This should be it. And then now we need to take this out of the normal flow so that it comes here. And then let's also fix this. I know you've noticed this. So let's just go into the attribution, into the footer. Let's give this a class of relative. We should bring it on top. There we go. And then let's grab this and bring it to the corner. So we're going to go and set this UL and say that for large screens, then position this as absolute, which is going to bring it here. And then let's say let's say that for large screens, bring it to the right by 20. And then let's say that for large screens, bring it to the bottom by 20. Place it here. Or not, bottom 0. Oh, you know what? Oh, the reason why it doesn't go here is because its parent has a class of relative. And so what we're going to do is this. Let me show you a cheat. Remove this, and then we're going to say that for large screens, then this should be hidden, meaning it's going to disappear. And then we're going to grab this UL. We're going to go outside of this section, paste it in, and then we're going to display this as a block. We're going to display this as hidden first, because if I don't display it as hidden, then it's going to show up. You can see that it shows up here, but I don't want it to show up here. So I'm going to say that display it as hidden first, so that it disappears. And then we're going to say that for large screens, then this should be a block element, meaning it's going to appear on large screens. You can see right here. And then we're going to say that for large screens, again, this should be positioned absolute. There we go. So that now it is positioned absolute relative to the body. And then for large screens, let's say give it to the right by 20, and then for large screens, bring it to the bottom by 20. So right around here. Yeah, right around here. And then let's do this. Let's do this. So the reasons why they're stacked one on top of the other is because of display block here, meaning this part no longer applies. So how can we fix that? We can go ahead and change this to be a div, and then we can change this to be a UL, and then we can grab this all the way up to here, and then inside this UL, give this a class of this. There we go. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? And then probably let's just increase the sizes of these icons. So here, let's give this 3XL, and then 3XL, and then 3XL. Oops, here, text 3XL. That's much better, much better. And then I don't want, so the reason why we have this overflow is because the image is quite big. So I don't want this overflow to be present on large screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a media query here. I'm going to say that for at media, that for a min width of 1024 pixels, then the body should not have an overflow. So overflow, set this to hidden, meaning it's going to remove the scroll bars both on the left and on the bottom. Sorry, both on the right and on the bottom. And then you might think that this project is complete, but it is not. And it is not complete because we need to change these fonts. So let's go into our style guide. Let's grab the Poppins and the Open Sans. So we need the Open Sans 400, the Poppins 400, 600. So click this. So we can remove this one. We have the Open Sans 400. So we want the Poppins 400 and 600. Poppins 400 and semiball 600. Copy the import. Copy, and then inside our body, just paste this on top. And then let's do this. Let's say that the body should have a font family of Open Sans. Oops, Open sans with a fallback of sans serif, and then the heading should have a font family of Poppins with a fallback of sans serif. And not only the h1, should be the h1 on the button. Yes, should be the h1 on the button. So h1 on the button. And then here I'm going to specify a font weight of 600, but on the button I'm going to specify a font weight of 400. So this will apply over this because of specificity. So let's check our application, and there we go. Would you look at that? That's looking quite better, much better. Probably you can add a better, like a hover effect for this, but I'm just going to leave it at this. Okay, so this is not the correct font. It's not the correct font. Why does it do that? By the way, I have no idea. Let's set this to important. Let me see. So now it applies. Why does the button do that? Is it something with tailwind or what? I'm not sure. Not quite sure. But yeah, that is that. And probably, you know what? Probably we should display this as absolute. Let me just check how it looks on mobile. Okay. And for large screens. Oops, what is this? What is this? So I want this to also go all the way to the bottom on large screens. And you know what I'm just realizing? This doesn't look good. So let's change this. Let's change that. And we can change that by going inside this section. Where is it? Inside this div, changing this to large, so that this styles will only apply on large screens. Yeah, so that it's going to persist to have these styles until it reaches the large screens, and then this happens. And then now what we need to do is we just need to change this up a bit as well. So we need to change this into 1024 as well, so that it's always going to have the mobile image, right? It's always going to have the mobile image until 1024 pixels right around here, right? And then at 1024 pixels, then I want this to have a full height. So let's go ahead and style this out here and say that for large screens, then the height should be screen, go all the way to the bottom. Oops, is that correct? Oh, sorry, this is the logo. This shouldn't be here. Sorry about that. This should be on this image. So not on this image, on the picture here. Let's say that for large screens, then the height should be of screen, meaning 100 viewport heights. There we go. There we go. Okay, and that is going to be our application. Would you look at that? Looking quite nice. Looking quite nice. And then one final thing that you can do is change this part to increase the size of this logo. So right around here, let's say that for large screens, then the width should be auto. And then let's go ahead and do this as well. For large screens, let's increase the margin bottom to 20, pushed away from this part. And then we're going to have that. And I have margin top on this article, by the way. I'm now becoming a bit of becoming a bit micromanaging. So let's go here. Let's say that for large screens, margin top should be 0, so that it resets. There we go. That's much better. And then now let's go ahead and create a repository and submit it. So go into GitHub, and then also log into Netlify. Close this, and we can close this as well. So create a new repository, and it is called Huddle landing page. Let me call it Huddle Introductory section. There we go. So create repository. Let's log into Netlify, and then let's copy this link. Control and J, open up your terminal. And then let's say git init and git add all, and then git commit -m. Let's say initial commit project complete. And let's say git push. Let's say git remote add origin, and then paste in our link. And then git push -u origin region main. And the commands that I've just done are basically from here up to here. It's basically what we are doing to push this to our remote repository. I've skipped this part because by default GitHub has the main branch to be main instead of master. They changed it up so that when you reload it, then you're going to have your application here, your code, sorry, here, and then you can log in here. Let's import an existing project from GitHub. And it is called Huddle Introductory section. So this repository right here, and then let's just say deploy site. Deploying. Let's change the site name here. Change site name into, let's say, Huddle Introductory. Oh, the name is too long. Interesting. Intro section. And then we can visit this part, visit the link, and this is our application. Look at that. So copy this link, and then let's go ahead and say submit solution. Live site URL, paste this in. Repository URL, copy, paste this in. Let's change the name to mobile first Huddle. What's the name of this thingy? Huddle landing page, is it? Or let me call it Huddle Introductory section in vanilla HTML and Tailwind. In HTML and Tailwind CSS. And then let's say submit solution. And there we go. So that is our solution complete. You can say view solution, and we're going to have it right here, looking almost nice, not too bad. And that is going to be the challenge. And if you enjoyed it, then please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.